Welcome back. Another episode of Thoughtful Chaos. It's Gus along with
Dan Hub.
We are here. We are ready to talk. A lot of stuff has happened in this world. Obviously, you got the coronavirus. You have some wayfaring strangers. Sex trafficking. We have sports to talk about. I have the very important question. Is football worth death?
That's going to bring up the coronavirus.
The corona. It's the Ronas. I can't roll my R's.
The Roni. The Wu flu.
Yeah, the Wu flu, the Ronas. It's not the COVID-19, though.
China
COVID-19 is when you got fat. That's what the COVID-19 is. That's different. Anyway, we are back. We're going to talk about everything that has happened. We have to talk about Epstein's assistant.
Ooh, Ellen.
Ellen DeMaxwell.
Ellen DeGeneres.
That lady. She done got canceled. I thought she was the nicest person in the world.
I'd say cancel culture is at an all-time high right now.
It is. It is crazy. It's funny because I listen to several people who are very conservative, and people have tried to cancel them many times before, and they always would bring up and talk about the fact that, like, listen, this cancel culture doesn't just end with us. This is something that will implode upon itself, and just because maybe the far left media wants to cancel something, they're going to turn around and end up starting to cancel their own people, because eventually it's all this PC, the extreme of PCs. You can't say anything, right? This is just like with Donald Trump. Donald Trump talked about, like 2 years ago, it was like, we start taking down statues. Next thing you know, they're going to, if we take down just one statue, next thing you know, they're going to want to take down all the statues. Well, what happened in the riots? They started trying to take down all the statues. At first, they're like, that guy was a Southerner, Confederate general or whatever. We want to take his statue down. Next thing you know, we need to take down Abraham Lincoln's statue. He didn't do anything important in life.
It's kind of backwards to take down the old Abe.
Right.
I'd say that man did some good in his life.
But that's the extreme. And the same thing is happening with cancel culture. So it's interesting to see. Although,
might as well blow up Mount Rushmore. I don't like all them faces looking at me.
Well, they are trying. But here's the question, though. So if you blew up Mount Rushmore, that's a good point. Those are evil. They talked about it when Trump went there. It's a couple slave owners and something else. I don't remember what they called the people. But anyway, they wouldn't refer to them as U.S. presidents. So They hate them. They want to blow it up. But then are you destroying the environment?
That's got to be under like a national park, right? It's got to be protected.
No, well, I know it's protected, but these people don't care. But like one of their things is like the Green New Deal. Everything needs to be green. We need to save the world from all of the plastic bottles that are eating all of the turtles or whatever.
Go paper straws.
Oh my God, no. Paper straws are the worst. But my point is, like, they want to blow up the mountain. They're ruining the environment. Like, which one do? You're going to kill a tree just to get rid of someone's face on a rock.
I'm going to bring it back for a second. So paper straws, I don't know. You grew up on the compound. You're very uncultured. Okay, those paper straws are about as good as an idea. I don't know if y'all remember. Capri Sun came out with a sour Capri Sun for a little bit. And inside the straw, there was this, like, sour powder that they lined the inside with. And they had lawsuits over this because people were drinking it. And it wouldn't just, like, make the drink sour. It would break off in chunks. And people were choking on the sour stuff as they were drinking Capri Sun. You probably didn't have Capri Suns at the compound, did you?
I'll be honest, I don't know what a Capri Sun is. Definitely don't know what a sour one is.
Oh, man. Wow, that's... No Capri Suns out of this, man. We looked at a...
juice boxes. You can get a little apple or fruit punch or whatever.
Oh, man.
Those things are good. We didn't have them very often.
There's
on the compound, you didn't have to pack a school lunch. You just had to walk across from
to the
well,
schoolroom, pump your water, put it in the bucket. Make sure you clean out the outhouse with the horsehair bristle brush, because Walmart that's the devil.
Even if you have a well, you don't have to pump water anymore. This is 2020.
No, stop! You're churning your own butter, man. We don't got to churn butter anymore. Walmart's got that.
Allegedly. Although we took the Indian feller off the Land
We
Lakes.
cancel cultured butter, and my Washington Redskins. I'm upset about that. All right, Washington football team. Come on.
Care.
Yeah, I'm upset about that.
America's team.
Anyways,
root for anyone else.
Back to Mount Rushmore and destroying. If that's like a national park, plus I would say blowing up an entire mountain face is going to be a little more expensive than just ripping down the statue and dispose it. Where do they put the statue? Do they blow that up and turn it into dust, or is that now a collector's item? Somebody can buy it and put it in their house.
I don't know.
Probably have to have a pretty big house, much bigger than this apartment we're in to fit a statue, huh? They're pretty tall.
Well, you could probably fit a statue in here, and then it would fall through the floor. You are a couple levels up. I mean, it's probably not.
What if I don't want the 24-foot tall General Lee?
Yeah, but they're like made out of bronze. Even if it's like 6 or 7 feet tall, the thing's still going to be freaking heavy as all get out. You ever see the bases they put those things on?
You go in the leasing office. I'm going to need a first floor apartment. Why? Because I got a General Lee. He's going to be a heavy son of a gun. We're going to need to cut a square in the ceiling. Okay. Hey neighbor, how you doing? He's got the head of General Lee just staring at him through the floor.
Just popped up to the.
Oh man!
Why is there a hole in the middle of your floor? Well, downstairs neighbor wanted General Lee. They took him out of the square down in Dallas.
I mean, I guess that there's only so far that you can go with this before it burns itself out, because I bet eventually it can go into, hey, well, why don't we take the Statue of Liberty down? And you're like, come on, what did the Statue of Liberty ever do to anybody but stand there?
A lot of work.
I'd probably be less work than taking down Mount Rushmore.
It's standing in the water, and there are so many fish and turtles. The sea turtles are being killed by old Lady Liberty. What's supposed to stand there in the water and chill.
No, what's the...
That's because it's cold in New York.
The people that are protecting all the sea life?
Environmentalists?
No, there's a word for it. They hate where Shamu is. PETA. PETA would have a fit if you tried to move the Statue of Liberty and it was going to harm some sea turtles. They wouldn't let that happen.
Well, there would be like, there's coral built up on the side of it or something. Or
coral?
There's a random mussel or something, or freaking barnacle that only sticks to the rock around this thing. They'd find a reason.
Endangered species.
And you'd be like, wait a minute, are we justice warriors or are we wanting to save the mussels? Like, which one is it? You never know. But anyway, speaking of all this stuff, all this cancel stuff, so Ellen DeGeneres went from the nicest person in the world, apparently, and always be kind to people. And that's like me. I pretend like I like Daniel on the show, but then,
we leave here, don't even talk.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's just...
Have you met him? I'm just saying.
Yeah, so Ellen DeGeneres, man, she, has all these nice segments she's doing on her show and giving people all this money that they needed. And there's there's reports coming in of, employees saying they've been mistreated and ever since coronavirus. Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, before that, the sexual harassment and stuff in her workplace. Well, she's sitting there bringing people on talking about how evil old Harvey Weinstein was. It sounds like she was running her own Harvey Weinstein deal.
Oh, no.
At the very least, she wasn't stopping. I mean, she may have not been directly involved in all the Harvey Weinstein-ness, but she was letting it happen at her place, which it's like that seems kind of backwards. And then there's the other point. Do you see all the celebrities that love her lining up to defend her?
I don't know that I've seen one celebrity try to defend her at all.
I haven't either. I saw an article about some, what's her name? Jennifer someone or other?
Lawrence?
No, not the one, not the one that's marrying A-Rod and buying the Mets. The other one.
Lopez?
No, that's Lopez. Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston is going to take over the spot or whatever. And I'm sitting there going, I thought they were friends. Wouldn't you be like, no, my friend is the nicest person? Well, no, you want that job. So Ellen probably makes crap tons of money.
So the question is, obviously the Ellen Show probably pays celebrities to be there, right? They're probably not they're probably friends. No. They're probably friends on the show. Like, oh, Ellen's my best friend.
No, they're not. They're not paid. They only ever show up when they have something to promote. So, if I wrote a book, I would go on the show and I do it for free because I'm there to be like, hey, buy my book. Gus cares about these 3 things and it has useless opinions on them. It's $9.99 on Amazon.
So
that's actually a good business idea.
You think they come on there for free? A book? Thoughtful Chaos book?
No, Gus's opinion on 3 things and his useless opinions on them or whatever. I don't remember what I said. I already forgot.
That's going to be
this is why we record
that's going to be a 20-page picture book, and it's going to be pictures on both pages.
Hey, there's a guy, and this guy's got to be a hero to the world. He wrote a book. His name is Michael Knowles, I believe, who wrote a book that has 10 words or something like that in the entire book. It was a New York Times bestseller, and it's called A Comprehensive Guide to Why You Should Vote Democrat.
Oh, I think I saw this, and a bunch of the pages are blank.
I think there's writing on 2 pages, and it's basically the intro page or whatever, and everything else is just blank paper. And I'm like, You got people to buy that?
Got people to buy a journal, basically.
Think about this. There used to be like people, and they're always showing as kids. I really don't know how old news people were, but on the street corners in New York, there were people, buy some newspaper, and they have these bundles of papers with all these words written real tiny, so you get all this information.
So you can fit more
words
on there.
You can buy it every single day, and now they don't have a job anymore. They're out of a job. In fact, newspapers are going out of business all over the world.
They're going digital.
And yeah, this guy sold a book. He didn't even put any words on it. Instead of trying to cram every little word so you can get all the information, this guy just sold paper. Put it in a book with a fancy cover. Probably put a picture of his face with a big old smile because I'm going to make money. One of those type of smiles.
Thanks for the next house, the next car.
Yeah, one of those. But I'm like New York Times bestseller. I mean, a lot of people. Which, by the way, I probably would have been one of them if I'd known it was happening when it was happening. Been like, that is hilarious, because there's always someone, whatever side of any political standing you're on, there's always someone that disagrees with you in your life that you'd love to buy a book like that for and just be like, here, why don't you read this?
So let me ask you this. Do you buy the book not knowing there's only 10 words in it, or do you buy the book purposely knowing there's 10 words in it, then you use it A, as a conversation piece, or B, as a gift for your next, would you use it as like a gag gift?
Yes.
Interesting. How much is a gag gift worth to you? If this is a $50 book, are you buying it?
Probably not, but it's a book. Books are like $10 or $20 or something like that, I think.
Well, this man seems like a salesman to me. Let's see how much this book is.
Them. You're going to have to find the book. That's going to take a minute. But, I mean, I think I'd spend $50 on a joke. I mean, it depends. You'd have to make sure it's to someone who's like actually going to enjoy the joke. Like it's going to be funny. If you're at a party, and they're going to open the gifts in front of everybody. Like in that case, it would be worth it. I don't think. Yeah, that's it. How much does it cost? Survey says.
Wow, he sold. It's got 256 pages. Michael J. Knowles, Chapter 1, Economics, Chapter 2, Foreign Policy, Chapter 3, Civil Rights, 4, Education, 5, Homeland Security, 6, Energy, 7, Jobs, 8, Crime, 9, Immigration, 10, Values and Principles, and then the last one's the bibliography. I read it twice. Oh, man, these reviews are probably hilarious. I'm just trying to find a price on this thing now.
I don't know how to help you with that.
It's $10.
What did I tell you?
Man, right on the money. When are we going to the casino?
I mean, what time do we have to work tomorrow? We got time.
We got to be there at 8. You better hit the road. We're going to wrap this. Hey, we're taking y'all with us. Just put you on the dash of the truck.
It's about an hour to the casino.
Oh, man, we dragging to work tomorrow.
I don't have a gambling problem. You recorded your podcast on the way to a casino. That would be funny. My mom would die.
Question, how is coronavirus affecting your town? Is it still affecting your town? Are things opening back up? Our job actually just brought everybody back into the office. Meanwhile, we still have...
in our department.
Right. Meanwhile, we still have news kind of still blowing up about this coronavirus second wave we should be expecting, but I think our Walmart's opened up.
We didn't expect it. We had the second wave, which, by the way, the second wave was not as deadly as the first for a bunch of reasons. There were more positive tests, but I don't know if y'all remember, but at the beginning of COVID, at the beginning of Rona's, there were no tests.
Right.
So, yeah, now they're like basically if you weren't dying, if you're like, oh, you're sick, but you're okay, don't get tested. They were telling people don't get tested because we need those tests for the people who are really, really sick.
I tell you what. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening about these news sites that are, dictating, telling, just basically fear-mongering.
Allegedly.
My question is, since when, I guess it's been since the beginning of time, but since when did news sites have the ability to create mass panic, right? Because there's so much crazy stuff going on. You don't know who to believe. You got doctors telling you, they've made treatments that work and it's getting removed off Facebooks for not being factual. It's all kinds of stuff that's being censored.
People getting banned by Twitter. Donald Trump Jr. got banned for like a day or two. He got put in, I think he got put in Twitter jail maybe.
Twitter jail.
Yeah, it's a place. It's a scary place. I've been in the clink. I've been in Twitter jail.
I did my time. I'm back.
What prison, Mike? It's a reference to The Office. But anyway, it is crazy because I mean, on one hand, they tell us like we still have to stay in lockdown because there aren't vaccines yet. They don't know what the right treatment is, all this stuff. And then doctors come and like people who are actually treating it are like, hey, this is what I've done and this is how it's worked. This is the success I've had doing it this way. And then they get banned because it doesn't agree with their agenda. Like that's very scary. Like if you want to talk about politics and like, you know, if you want to be mad at people who are, you know, we need taxes to go up 2% or down 2%, you want to fight about that, hey, go for it. Who cares? But when there's a worldwide pandemic that's, you know, going to kill all of the people, or so they tell us, and you're sitting here telling me, no, don't listen to that doctor because we don't agree with what he's saying, we're going to ban him. Well, what if they're right? What if the people, and maybe they're wrong, but what if the people who are getting banned were right the entire time? The media is going to have to look back and know that, well, they're not going to care, but they should look back and know that they have blood on their hands because they actively stopped people from getting treatment that worked. They actively stopped people from having their lives saved.
I think there needs to be a brand new news station that comes up, becomes, you know, just as popular as your CNN or your Fox or.
We can start it and we can get rich.
Right. There needs to be a new news station that's nothing but truth, facts, not pushing an agenda. And you know what? For crying out loud, why not even make it a little positive? Maybe not talk about so much of the negative stuff that's going on. Now, you don't want to hide it. You know, people, obviously, they want to be informed about things. But, man, it just seems like all these news stations, they're just pushing negative after negative after negative. And then they're not even letting you see the whole truth because it doesn't agree with what they want you to see.
Negativity sells.
Did you see in Beirut that a ship with fireworks on it exploded? Now,
I thought it was a building with fireworks.
No, it was a ship. You can see in the video, the guy's on a building, he's videoing, so you can see the fire alarms going off on the boat. But first thing, we have fireworks over here, right? So
not that level of fireworks.
Right, I'm going to be upset. Why don't we have fireworks like that? Because our fireworks would not blow up like that. Doesn't matter how many you have.
It's called government regulations.
Right.
And
so,
that is if it's even. They're saying it's. Well, some people are saying it's fireworks. I think the U.S. government believes it was not fireworks.
You know, I watched the video, and man, if that's the kind of fireworks they're using over there, I'm upset. But then again, it's probably a good idea if that's what they do when they all get together and they blow up. So, because that looked like I don't know if you've ever seen a JDAM go off. It's a missile that the military launches. I don't know if it's still in circulation or not, but there's many videos on YouTube you can watch. Huge explosions. I mean, this man, you can see the explosion.
What was it? Mamba?
MOAB?
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 I don't know. Yeah, MOAB, mother of all bombs.
Yeah, that's a nuke.
No, it's not.
Well, it used to be the strongest bomb we had, and then.
I mean, I don't know. It's a big ass bomb.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one for sure.
It'll knock over a couple 3 buildings. Is what I'm told. I've
Right.
never actually used one. Unfortunately, they don't allow those in just regular old civilian life for some reason.
They don't allow them in war anymore either. I think they're cruel and unusual at this point.
Oh.
But then again, we have bombs that are multiple times stronger.
By the way,
that
that whole concept is kind of strange to me because, listen, it's cruel and unusual, and it's against the Geneva Convention, all that. It's war. You're killing people. It's all against what you're supposed to be doing. You ain't supposed to be killing people. I get it. Sometimes you got to go to war, but how are you going to tell me? No, you can't war like that.
You can't war like that.
Right. War is death.
Well, no, the problem is not you can't tell me to war like that. It's, hey, I'm going to send this nuke over and I'm going to hit this country. Well, now you got this country. It's like, well, that's my friend, so now I'm going to hit you with it. So now everyone's just hitting each other with nukes.
I get all that, but I'm just saying, like, there's rules of engagement and stuff. The whole concept is crazy. It's like you're at war. Like, if we were at peace, we wouldn't be trying to kill each other. If we were following the rules, we wouldn't be trying to kill each other. If everyone could just, why can't we be friends?
Why can't we be friends? All right, so sports are back.
Oh, yes. Lighter topic. Let's talk about that. And I teased that. Is football worth death, I believe is what I asked. And
I'm a hockey fan now since my RIP Redskins.
You're a hockey fan?
I'm a hockey fan now.
What the hell are you a hockey fan for?
I'm a hockey fan now.
How many hockey games have you been to in your life?
4.
That's more than me. I've been to 0.
See, in Louisiana, we had the old mud bugs. Now, I don't think they're called the mud bugs anymore, but there was
In
our
Dallas, we have the Dallas Stars.
team. I think I've been to one Stars game.
I've been to 0.
I've seen one fight.
I've been offered tickets for free, and I've had easy access to that stadium based on where I live. And it was like, nah, I think I'm busy that day. I was going to go drink a beer.
Man, yeah, I just went because I heard there's crazy fights, and of the 4 I've gone to, I've seen one fight. So there's a 25% fight ratio for me. I'm a little
100%
upset
chance
about
of
that.
seeing it. Now, was it at the Stars game?
No, it was the Mudbugs game.
Oh, well, let's go back to the Mudbug. How many? You been to 3 of their games?
Oh yeah,
There you go. It's 33% chance you go to the Mudbugs game.
man, we don't need to go see the
Come
Stars.
on.
But no, I'm a Red Wings fan now because I've got a buddy at work who I said, "Who's your favorite team?" He said, "Stars," and I said, "Okay."
We are in Dallas, Texas. I don't know if you've ever heard of the place. There's a couple people who live here.
Kind of popular.
We have a couple of professional sports teams, and as a majority, the people in this town do root for the sports teams in this town. And he asked a person in this town, "Who are you a fan of?"
Well, you never know. I'm not a fan of anybody in this town besides collegiate football, and that's hook 'em horns.
I like it, but here's my question. Actually, that was party. We're gonna party or whatever. Got to do that anyway. Not relevant. So
Vivo.
if you were sitting next to some transplant foreigner,
Okay.
from some evil place like Oklahoma,
Some Yankee place.
some Yankee town, we call that Canada. And they were like, I'm a fan of the Washington Capitals. You would have figured out who the Washington Capitals hate and rooted for those people.
No, I think it stems from me liking the Redskins, and the Redskins are
So you should like the Washington Capitals.
no. I like the Redskins because there's a story from way back when. My dad's childhood.
From your
He's got a
younger days.
twin brother, and my grandpa was trying to get them to pick their favorite sports teams. So my dad's twin said he liked the Dallas Cowboys, and my dad asked my grandpa, who does he hate the most? Who do the Dallas Cowboys not like the most? And the Washington Redskins came up. So I was a Redskins fan just because my dad was a Redskins fan.
And your dad's a Redskins fan because he's just like you and asked the person next to him, who are you a fan of? And I'm going to hate them.
Hey,
so you're following
hey,
in your father's footsteps.
Hey, man, for such a...
I can be mad at you for that, in case you're wondering. I don't care if your dad did it.
I'm glad to hear that your ears... I got to keep the tradition going. I'm sure you have family traditions, the great blueberry squashing. You probably do that once a year. So
No, it's
I
the
know
great
you have...
blueberry picking. We don't have to.
I know
squash
you have
them.
a family tradition at least once a year. Give me an example.
Well, blueberry picking was one.
You weren't kidding. Okay, all right, on to the next one.
I thought we talked about this. I thought.
I need a family tradition you do every year that most families do not.
I mean, that's one. We go blueberry picking every year. I mean, I don't really go blueberry picking anymore because they go like during the week and I work.
You have a
I
job?
don't know. Well,
You're not sitting back collecting this great unemployment?
yeah, I don't qualify.
Ouch.
But I'm going to turn in my white privilege card next week, and then I'll get it. I don't think it works that way, does it?
Well, there is a second stimulus check coming, and I do believe they are fixing how much unemployment's getting paid, because the working class folk were a little upset about how much
When
they're
does
getting
it come
paid.
in, though? Because I think they're still fighting about it.
I thought they already voted on it. It's going to happen. We're going to get it before Labor Day.
I'm glad you have that much confidence, but I think all them people up on Capitol Hill are still fighting about stuff. But we're supposed to be talking about sports.
Oh,
So,
no.
about sports, I have a question. So, baseball came back, right? I love baseball. Baseball's, I don't know about hockey. I think hockey's back too, isn't
I just
it?
like it because you can fight. There's more of a chance of a fight going to happen in hockey than there is in baseball.
Okay, a real fight, yes. Because hockey will actually fight. Baseball will get right up in your face, and they'll dance around. They might even do a little shoving, and then you pretend like you're hurt. You get shoved, like they push you in the
Sounds like
chest, and then you
soccer.
pretend like your elbow was hurt in the process.
Yeah, sounds like soccer.
Pretty much. But, I mean, unless Rougned Odor is charged by somebody, ooh-wee. I don't know if you remember that hit.
The one that he got hit so hard that his necklace went all the way around, came back around.
Yeah, he did that to Jose. What was his name? Jose Bautista?
Probably something like
I don't
that.
know. Toronto freaking Blue Jays. The
Baseball,
Jackasses.
using sticks, swinging at balls. Love it.
Okay. Anyway, so they come back, right? They normally play 182 games a year or 162.
Yep.
Anyway, don't worry about that. and they're down to a 60-game season because they spent all this time fighting about the coronavirus. So, but they're back, like we're ready to go again, and everyone's social distance just like we are, 6 feet apart, sort of, but 6 feet apart. Some of these guys are wearing masks while they're playing this whole big deal, right? And then we're not even a weekend, and the Marlins like 13 or 15. I don't remember the exact number. I don't have the computer in front of me to tell me, but like a bunch of their players all tested positive, and they've had to lose out on a bunch of games. They're calling up all their people from their minor league squad or whatever, however they set that up this year.
Gave them a chance at Major League.
Yeah. There was some cool story about some guy who finally got a chance, and I was like, I don't know who he is, but anyway, that's not the point.
I don't know your name, but
But they lost out on like a bunch of games, 5-6 games. The Marlins did, and I think the Phillies have missed out on games. A couple teams have missed out on games because of how many people got coronavirus. So it led me to ask the obvious question. If you are a team and you want to win, if you're Dak Prescott and you're getting ready for who's on the Redskins? Do y'all have any quarterback, or do y'all just play running back at that position?
Do we just play run? Well, since the late great RG3 departed from our team,
y'all had Alex Smith. He broke his leg.
We also had homeboy from
Colt McCoy played
Colt
for him.
McCoy from the old.
Yeah, and he beat the Cowboys.
Look, there was no better combo than Colt McCoy and Jordan Shipley, and that's it. I guess at least for collegiate, and then you got shit sent to the Browns, and I feel like the Browns would be the worst. I feel like that's the worst team. If somebody don't take the Browns to the Super Bowl, I mean that one statement right there just completely just
ruined the
literally
team.
and figuratively craps on the team. Okay, gonna take the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Oh God. I haven't asked my question, though. So, if you were getting ready for a season right now, which they are, would you intentionally try to get as many of y'all as you can to get the coronavirus before you had to report, before you had to start all your practice, so that all my key players have already had the coronavirus. They're not going to have to miss games. They're not going to have to worry about it. They're already done. Versus they get, especially let's say, you're in a playoff race. And, winner takes all. Whoever wins this last game of the season,
last team standing,
is in the playoffs. The other team is out. And, Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, Tyron Smith, just, a bunch of big names on the team. They got the Ronas. They got quarantined for 14 days. And then we're running out old Derek Whitehead or something. I don't remember what the backup quarterback's name is. Derek White or something. I don't know. Charles White.
I don't watch the Cowgirls.
I don't know. Someone no one's ever heard of and cannot play. But no, we have Andy Dalton now. We have him too. But anyway, you have to run up. My point is you have to run out the backups, and horrible things happen. Wouldn't you rather have just gotten the coronavirus before the season starts?
I mean, as logical of a statement that is, I also think it's also impossible because you're asking people to risk their life in a sense. Hey, I need you. I understand you signed up to play ball and play it to the best of your ability, but I need you to contract the corona. I need you all in this room and just go ahead and get out of the way. Whoever's going to die is going to die, and let's see how the season goes, boys. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. But you're right. So the Cowboys couldn't go. Like whoever Mike McCarthy, the head coach, or what's his name, the Jerry Jones couldn't come along and say, hey, I need all of y'all to get the coronavirus, because then it's a problem. You're asking them to die for football.
Right.
But if you're Dak Prescott, if you're one of the players, be like, hey, guys, just kind of start the whisper campaign. You're like, hey, man, let's just go catch the Ronas. I know this girl. She got the Ronas. Or let's see if we can't go hang out with her and catch the Ronas.
Or maybe use the millions and millions and millions of dollars.
It's supposed to be billions, but okay.
No. The Cowboys don't have billions. They have millions.
Oh, the players. Yeah, you're right.
Not even just
Jerry
the players.
Jones.
I'm talking about the team altogether. Use this capital they have to maybe, I don't know, be the first one to have your entire team injected with the coronavirus vaccine. Because I heard there's one in testing. It's in the human phase right now. And why not? Hey, I got a team right here that you can test.
Yeah, but you don't know the side effects. So if the side effects are bad, then you just killed your entire team. Now, not only are you not winning a Super Bowl, you're winning a bunch of funeral costs.
Well, the Cowboys ain't going to win a Super Bowl anyways. We ain't got nothing to lose.
I mean, you're definitely right, but it doesn't mean I can't be pissed off about it. They haven't won a Super Bowl since I was born.
It's been a few years.
Couple 3 years there, but don't worry about that.
13.
Oh, then the other situation I don't think we ever talked about this. But Joey Gallo, he's one of the Rangers players. This guy got the coronavirus, right? Allegedly. He had to quarantine. He couldn't be at spring training because spring training had already started. He couldn't be at spring training, so instead he literally he lives in a high rise in Dallas somewhere, in downtown, uptown. I'm not really sure, but anyway, he lives in a high rise and he built a batting cage in his high rise because he couldn't go out, couldn't be with people, all this stuff. So he had to stay at home. And he lives in a high rise. So there in his apartment, essentially, except for it's in a skyscraper, he built a batting cage and he practiced right there in his living room. But he got tested. It's positive. You got to quarantine. He got tested again. It's negative. Tested again. It was positive. I think it was maybe 3 and 3, 3 negative, 3 positive over the course of his 14-day quarantine, which I don't know how they came up with 14 days, but that's not relevant. How pissed would you be if you find out, like, let's say we're halfway through the season and he actually gets coronavirus and he never had it before, the tests were just wrong. Now he's got to quarantine for another 14 days.
That's an entire month of his life.
Just
quarantined
gone.
away from the public, from society.
From baseball. He's a baseball player. He was trying to make an honest day's living hitting bats and balls.
Make an honest day's living playing baseball. How nice would that be to get paid millions of dollars to play a professional sport?
I would have to say very nice. I mean, no one's ever paid me to play any sports.
Now,
professional or otherwise.
If you could get paid to play a professional sport, which one would it be?
So this is a good question. It depends on what level of athlete you are.
No. That's not my question. My question is very simple. If you could get paid the same equivalent amount of millions of dollars to play a professional sport, which one would it be?
Baseball.
I would do golf. Didn't think about that one, did you?
I mean, golf is the most likely for you to be able to be a professional at, to be honest.
That, and I mean, you can just have a good time. Have you ever seen anybody? Do they drink on the PGA Tour? Is that a thing? They got brewskis on the PGA Tour.
That John Daly does. That dude's always drunk.
I mean,
I don't know if he's still on the PGA Tour.
Rumor has it he's still drinking right now. Still drinks to this day.
I don't think that's a rumor. He probably live streams his drinking. Arnold Palmer. I mean, alcohol.
They say when you wake up in the morning, no matter whether you eat breakfast or not, start your day off with 8 ounces of water. That man starts with 8 ounces of whiskey right there when he wakes up.
Well, he had issues reading as a child, and so when he read the label, whiskey and water, they both started with W. He didn't know.
He's like, man, this water tastes. So then he just got used to the taste of whiskey. Now water tastes like whiskey.
His kidney, they're all used to a certain level of alcohol. If he just went cold turkey, they'd all shut down. They're like, they'd be sitting around going, where's the alcohol?
Where's the water?
Yeah. They don't know the difference. Where's the whiskey? So this would be hilarious if we find out one day that he actually hates whiskey, and that's the only thing he doesn't drink.
Maybe we'll have him on the podcast one day. Ask him.
Yeah, John Daly, if you want to be on the podcast, we'll drink whatever alcohol you're sponsored by. Because you know he's sponsored by somebody, right?
We're still waiting on Shiner for the pickup. Shiner, we're still here for you. We're not going anywhere.
I mean, unless someone else wants to pay us more money. I wouldn't promise them we're not going anywhere.
I think just to get Shiner to sponsor us would be an accomplishment in itself. Is there a beer you'd rather get paid to drink more? Okay, so you're telling me if Natural Light paid you more than Shiner, you'd want to go to Natty Light, hit us up.
Okay,
you
so
heard
Shiner
it here.
says we're not paying you a penny, and Natty Light comes along and goes, here's $1,000 to drink Natty Light on your podcast.
You're going to have a six-pack down every podcast.
How much are you paying me per podcast?
$1,000 a podcast.
$1,000 a podcast. I drink 6 Natty Lights. I'm in every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
And you're not allowed to drink Shiner anymore. You lose your right to pick beer. It's natty or nothing.
Hold on. You said $1,000 a podcast. You didn't say how many podcasts. I'll do 3 podcasts a day. We won't rack in the money.
With a maximum of $3,000 paid out a week.
I'd still do it.
That's still a good little living.
That's what, $12,000. That's $13,000 a month.
These are some good figurative numbers, Natty Light. I mean,
pay me $13,000 a month. I'll drink a 6-pack of Natty Light on every single episode, 3 episodes a week.
Pay me $13,000 a year, and I'll drink at least a Natty Light on each podcast.
one natty light for 13 grand or 6 natty lights. How about this? Increase the number by any amount, and I'll post them on all my social media. So my 112 followers, I might have 113 actually, who knows? All of my followers who care deeply about how much I drink natural light beer will be able to know that it's the only beer for me until Shiner pays me the same amount of money, and then Shiner's the only one for me.
So we actually are trying out a new platform with these podcasts now to become more available to the vast amount of people that would like to listen to us. So we're going to make it more convenient for you. We're actually using an app called Anchor, so shout out to them. They did not sponsor this video, but they are helping out greatly in growing this podcast. Right. So it's basically going to put our podcast on multiple platforms. I think it's Apple Radio, Spotify, and on the actual Anchor app. So shout out to them for helping us out. We're going to be on multiple platforms now, so you can listen to us in the car, at home, on the laptop.
For all of your podcasting needs.
So...
if you ever need to get it fixed. The great thing is you can listen to it once on each. That way we get a lot of views on all. Well, not views, but like
maybe we get big enough to where the YouTube will send us one of them play buttons. You ever seen them? You get a certain amount of followers, you can get them little play buttons.
I think you had to get like 1 million subscribers or like.
Well, there's a couple different play buttons. I think there's a bronze, a silver, and a gold, and a platinum.
There's something where when you like reach 1 billion minutes of streamed content or something like that.
Probably.
Which, like, how much time is that?
I don't know, but
people waste a lot of time listening to us talk. We better create a lot of videos if they're gonna listen to 1 billion minutes of this.
That's at least 10 podcasts worth.
1 billion? Go.
We'd have to start posting our play buttons behind us, get some more wall real estate. Have to actually maybe set up a more permanent podcasting area. Yeah.
Build our own studio. You can have a gym on part of the studio like Joe Rogan does, and then we can have a badass kitchen like that other guy does. What's the guy? Bryson was showing me. He has a podcast that's Burnt something. I think Bert Kreischer, I think is his name. Is that a guy?
That sounds like a guy.
Yeah. He does a podcast where he cooks food and apparently he burns it a lot, or so he says. And so, I don't know, there's some pun on burning and podcasting.
I like watching it's not really a podcast, it's more of like a YouTube show, Hot Ones. You seen that?
The one where they eat like all the different levels of wings until you eat like the Carolina Reaper that'll just like melt your face off immediately.
He'll ask them questions while they're eating them.
Oh, here's a great question off of that. Have you ever seen the world's hottest chip?
The one chip challenge? Is it Pocky chip?
I don't know if it's Pocky, but yeah, the one chip challenge. How much would you have to get paid to do that?
I mean, I'd probably just
$20.
I'd probably just do it to do it, For the experience, I need the life experience. You ever done the cinnamon challenge?
No, I'm not an idiot.
Oh, I didn't.
Hey, someone told me one time that you can take cinnamon, lemon, and something else, and it'll cure you from the coronavirus. She also has the cure for cancer, but she couldn't tell anyone because the government will get her, which I didn't believe until I found out about the Wayfair people and how they're selling George and Regina and whoever else out of their cupboards for $10,000. And I'm like, well, maybe the government would kill you if you cured cancer. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
Speaking about that, man, crazy stuff going on in the news. We just circled back, 37 minutes or so back to the beginning of the podcast.
Don't worry about that.
Judge that is advocating to get their addresses more private because she said she was going to, I guess, release Epstein's statements or journal entries or something to make them public.
Yeah.
And
I think it's financial details of some nature, yeah.
There's a guy, attorney or somebody, basically showed up disguised as a FedEx worker or something like that and shot her son and her husband.
If you had FedEx workers shooting up judges' houses for that was in July, for your July 2020 all hell's broken loose, you won the bingo game.
That's crazy. She said her son jumped in front and took one in the chest for the dad. So shout out to him for being heroic in his last moments. It is pretty sad. I do think, if judges are going to be convicting people, obviously it's not their fault the crimes were committed. They're just doing their job, but there does need to be another extra level of protection for them.
It should be more private.
Right.
I do know like some cops and stuff, they have it set up like for their driver's license where they'll have their cars everything's registered at their driver's license will have the address for the county courthouse or whatever, where it's not their private. So even if someone were to get a hold of their license, they can't go to their house and shoot up, and hurt them or their family or anything like that. It'll be interesting to see if like that happened, that judge will end up changing, that for more than just cops, where judges and attorneys and stuff, prosecutors and whatnot, won't have to have their private information on some stuff.
There was a scenario I ran into. I don't quite remember. It was something to do with I couldn't make a copy of somebody's driver's license. I want to say it was like a federal employee or something. You can't copy their license. It was something, or no, it was a military ID.
Yeah, no, that was always the case. Yeah, you couldn't do. I think they changed that, but for the longest time you couldn't make a copy of a military ID. I don't know if you still can, but yeah, there'd be a lot of people where we would be trying to get because Ford and pretty much all the manufacturers would do like military rebates.
Right.
But you have to be able to prove that you're in the military or you're retired, or like you can't just come and say, "Hey, I was in the military. Give him a rebate." They want you to prove it, and so you'd be like, the easiest thing is, "Hey, I got a copy of their military ID."
Right.
And they wouldn't take that because you couldn't get a copy of it. So said you had to find out USAA or some other way of proving that they.
Alrighty, well,
military.
I think that concludes another episode of Thoughtful Chaos. It flew by. We're already up on time.
That's a good thing.
So these are gonna start coming out more and more frequently. If you did like it, always show us some support by just talking about us. Get somebody else to listen to us, and let us do the work. If they like what they hear, they'll come back for another one. We're going to definitely try to be more consistent, especially now that we've got this ability to put.
Now that we have an anchor.
Right, that we have an anchor to.
That feels like a bad joke.
Firmly place us.
I apologize to everyone for the bad joke. I couldn't stop myself.
We're trying to get people to like us here, and you're gonna hit us with a joke like that. But it's fine, We'll just have to make up for it the next one.
I'm a comedian at heart. Just because people don't laugh at my jokes, they laugh at me is not important. I am a comedian nonetheless.
An equivalent of, let's say you have a face for radio. You have
it's a damn good looking face too, if I have to say so myself.
You have jokes for a deaf crowd.
My jokes aren't that bad.
Alrighty, well that's another episode.
You're saying my face is ugly, my jokes are bad, but listen to my podcast. That's a hell of a sales pitch there, buddy.
We'll catch y'all on the next one. Thanks for tuning in.